Hello everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so happy you stopped by my channel. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you subscribing and leaving me a thumbs up or a comment. I am so happy to talk to you. Let me know what your thoughts are on my page layout. I love Anna Griffin products and I love interactive pages. So here I have another interactive page that is very similar to last week's page layout, but a lot easier. And it is going to use the Anna Griffin 12 by 12 page and then 4 of the Anna Griffin 5 by 7 base card element. Okay, so this piece right here that I'm turning into my little gatefolds are actually base cards from our Anna Griffin kits. This right here would be where the name is, where you would write your name at, okay? This is one 5 by 7 card that we have turned into these little wings here for this page layout. Right here you can put a gorgeous picture. Right here you can tell your story. Always journaling and adding dates and times to your events. So here is how I'm working this page. Super easy, really fun to do. Page here I used the exact same 4 cards from the Anna Griffin kit that all look the same before I added embellishments to it. But I think it would be fabulous if we used old Christmas cards in here with a base page that was similar to everything else that kind of went along with it. Of course, we're going to have a template that I have here, and 4 5 by 7 cards. So the measurements I'm going to be giving you are for 5 by 7 card. But what about if you have a smaller card? Then let's just go through the technique, learn the technique the way I'm showing you, and then later you can adjust your card storage to maybe a smaller page. So this one I'm using for my 5 by 7, but if it was smaller, then maybe I would do multiple pages, or what we call these little belts, and then you would be using more pages inside. Okay, you see what I'm going with, where I'm going with this? Okay, so let's get with the class. And what I want you to do, like always, is get a scrap piece of paper, 12 by 12, your ruler, a pencil, your score tool, a cutting tool. I like to use the Martha Stewart out of stock, never coming back paper trimmer that is a straight edge. Of course, you can use one that is from Fiskars or whatever other company has this straight edge. You need a straight point, not the rotary kind, to do these kind of cuts, unless you're super talented and you can use a straight cutting edge tool like this, and then you can cut that, okay? So these are some of the things that we're going to need to do this. Okay, let's get going with the class. Here we are with this project. I am looking at doing a page that's going to overlap with a card. So what we're going to do here is we have 1/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch going this way, okay? And then when you look at it down in this direction, we start it and we put it here at 2.5. So this is 2.5 inches in. Right here is 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. Right here to this line, 2.5 inches. And then when we go look at this side, it's also 2.5 inches. Here to this edge. Here and here. So we're gonna have the same thing on this side, 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. And then if we look at these lines, we are also looking at 2.5 inches, okay? And then we look at this side, we are looking at 2.5 inches. Okay, so this is again, we're playing with our template. Our template kind of is our scrap paper, or what I have tons of craft paper. So I like to use this as my template. So now what we're going to do is we have, and of course, there is a 1/4 inch in between all of my lines. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut into that. You remember how we cut into the areas. And if I measure here to the end is 1.5 inches. So we're going to go in at 1.5, mark there. There we go. Then we bring this down and you bring your straight edge paper cutter right where you need to. I'm going 2.5 right here, and I'm going to press in and go straight, and I'm stopping right into that spot. Okay, and then I'm going to go in 1/4 inch more, which means I'm at the 2-inch mark. Right here, 2-inch mark. And I'm going to pierce the paper again. We've come down 2.5 inches. And you're cutting all the way down. There we go. Okay, so now what we've created is this little flap, okay? So what's gonna happen with that little flap is that we have our Christmas cards that are universal on the top. They could be upside down or any direction. They don't have a shape or a form. And we creased, or excuse me, we scored at 1/4 inch. We have it here at 5, and then we went in 1/4 inch and we scored. So now what we have here is a very simple gatefold. So we're gonna put this in to our little spot. And we are sliding our card in here, and you just have to maneuver the paper so that the hinge system is on the top. And look what we're going to have. We're going to have a very simple gatefold with your extra cards. You see that? Now we bring it over, and we bring it over. Okay? So let's cut this template. Let's do it all the way around. But I have decided that I want to use this paper because I picked out 4 of these. I think it'll be pretty. I like that color with these in here. So that is what I'm doing. And we're going to do this template and do this all the way around. Okay, let's try cutting. Okay, so now we have here our template that we were working on. It comes from this, okay? We were working on that, and now we did it on our gorgeous gold glitter paper that's a little bit of a cardstock, not too much, but I think we're gonna have to, once we get this all down, we're gonna have to back it up to make it a little stiffer. So now we have our little belts in here. So now what we're going to do is we have our 4 favorite cards right here, and what we do is we crease at the 1.5 mark. You have your book here, and then you score at the 1.5 mark. And you do that to all 4 pages. So they end up looking like this, okay? And now that we have those all done, we're going to take a card and we're going to run it through the little belt, and it goes and sits just like this. And so this becomes part of the scoring system, okay? There we go. And now I'm going to put our little template away, and we can kind of measure here if we're making sure that we are staying at 6 inches and that we're centered here. So this happens to be the center of the card, and we are right at 6 inches. So that stays right there. And you put the wet glue. We're measuring, making sure we're right at the 6 mark. Let's do that again. We're going to sit right here with my measuring tool. 6 is right here, and then that is correct. So we're going to hold that, holding the bottom, and we're lifting up this little piece and bringing this piece down. Put a little bit of wet glue, because this is the part that holds this little mechanism booklet in, and you go here in, and now you're able also to bring this one this way. It's good to maneuver your book when it's wet so that you can maneuver and make sure that your glue is moving the direction that you need it to move. Okay, so now we have that in. Now I like to do the opposite page so that we're sure that we're getting this just in the right even spot. Slide the card gently into this. You want it to be snug, but you want it to be still a little bit enough to get slided in. Okay, now here, we move this part back, making sure that you can slide this piece in here. And then we want these to be just right, because this is going to be our little book. Now we have that one there, and you can slowly pick this piece up, wet this piece with the wet glue, and then that slides in. There we go. Lifting this part up. And then you can fold this part over. There you go. Isn't that just going to be so cute? Look at this. Now you have a super easy gatefold. Now let's close this up, and we have 2 more to do. Exactly the same. We're lifting up this little piece right here, sliding the card in. Okay, now we want to make sure we're still at the 6 mark. Pull this down, and we're flipping this one up to put our wet glue in. There we go. Now we're putting our next card in. Very good. Now you lift this little belt up and you open up your card and you're sliding it right in between here. There. And now we're lifting this little piece up and we're putting wet glue in. You want to manipulate it while it's wet. You want to see that it's sitting the same with the other page, that these little corners are coming in. You're bringing this little piece in and that paper sits in the back. And then you bring this one over. And then this one comes over. Voila. Now look at what we have here. We have a card that flips open in all directions, and the top is right here. So it needs to maneuver again and score. You want to be playing a little bit with these mechanism to make sure that it is where you want it to close and open. So you can do this one in. There we go. So, isn't that a fun, super easy way to do a gatefold? Way easier than we did before with all the little booklets and all the little pages. And here we have page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you still have this gorgeous space to do. Magnets are next. I like to use my 1/2 inch ones for this. And I think we should put magnets on the top pages where we close them. So I'm thinking right here, and then this brings and closes here on the inside. And again, we're going to do 4 because that's a lot of paper. It's a lot of weight. So we put a little bit of a glue, tiny little drop. And we're going to put that right there. We're hoping that there's going to be a picture there someday. There we go. On the top. Okay, now these get closed in, and when you flip it over to the back, you should be able to drop these magnets here, right there. Okay, now that holds those magnets in. What do you think about that? So we flip it over. We're maneuvering this down. Okay, now we're going to flip this over and we're going to glue in our little magnets. All you do is just lift up your magnet a tiny bit, squeeze a tiny drop of glue, put that in there, tiny bit of drop of glue, and I'm showing you a tiny little drop of glue, and that gets held in place. And what we're going to do with the back, we're going to back this up with a tiny piece of paper because my paper just doesn't feel strong enough. So we don't want to see the edge of this paper, this craft paper. But I had a love affair with this craft paper a long time ago, and that's all I wanted to use. Now I don't use it at all. So here we're going to put this right on top, and you see how we just took a slither off of each piece, but then that ensures that when you flip it over you're never going to see this. So now we're going to put glue all over the place, and that is going to ensure that we do not have any boo-boos here, and that my paper will stay nice and sturdy. We're going to take our craft paper and put it right on top. And as long as we can see white all the way around it, we won't worry that you see craft paper on the other side. Okay, so now here we have our page. Just absolutely perfect. So we have 4 cards, and here we go. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, and page 9 in the middle. Okay, so the next step is decorating and putting everything back in. So we're doing top, and there's no order to which way. I just know that we're going to end in this direction, so that means we should start in this direction. Okay. My interpretation of a simple page. So next is going to be decorating it and adding embellishments to it. So let's do that part next. Okay, now let's talk about embellishments. How did I embellish this? So this page kit came with the Cecile Christmas and a Griffin kit. And it came with a lot of little things here. It had gold, it had silver. I think I may have shown you this before. I love to keep my vegetable trays from the grocery store because I can use them kind of like dividers, and when I get a little kit I kind of put everything alike into it, and so I have it on the side here next to me, and I decorate or embellish my pages. So again, when we go to embellish this, the main embellishment, you need to make sure that you keep these sides where these doors or gatefolds are going to open up. You don't want to put anything in these creases. So very carefully where I put these corners, it's going to be able to open into this area, okay? Like always, I love ribbons on a page, and so I like to use that as a pull tab for this front page. And then I did a little gold pop out. I used one of the little mini rosettes at the bottom, 2 gold, 1 gold and 1 silver of the flourish underneath, this gorgeous little snowflake right here that comes from one of the dies. And so I kept it kind of simple. This was supposed to be my simple page. The simple page is this one, and then the one that we did last week was the complex gatefold with the gorgeous slim dies. The corner here on the side, I didn't like the sentiment, so I put a little gold on top so that I can put my year on that spot. And here we're opening this up. I have magnets holding everything tucked in. You can see that these little leaves here on the side, the holly, is hiding my little magnets. But if you put a picture on it, you just put it right on top, or a sentiment. I usually try to keep these areas here open just a little bit so that I can tuck in a picture into this area and have the little holly kind of sticking out. I use my favorite tab, the Stampin' Up! Tab for this in gold, and then we open it up. Nice, from Christmas with the gorgeous bells. That one I think is last year's. The same right here. Always kind of keeping it open so that I can put a tab on top. I think this would probably be a picture, and I'll put it right on top. It's still able to hold in place. This is a flat hinge. So it is flat, so you want to keep your embellishments to a minimum, and you want to keep them on the flat side. So here again, did the same thing. This was a 5x7 die, similar to, let's say, this one. And what I end up doing is I kind of cut into this and keep certain corners. Like right here, maybe I would cut this piece off right here and use it as a corner on my page. So this one is one of the super complex ones. That's the new 3D ones. And I use that as my corner punches on here to hide, because this is the back of the page, to hide the made by with love and your signature on it. But I put glue only on the edges so that maybe I can slip in a picture or a little journaling tag in this area right here. And then here I put the corners. I on purpose pushed them all the way to the edge, so when you flip this over, you see this little gold corner there. I think that's super cute. And that is also from my Stampin' Up! With the corners. So that is how we have this decorated. Very simple, super easy. Same thing right there. Doesn't that look just so pretty? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, so you see how we kind of left the embellishments to a minimum, trying to, and I used 4 magnets, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and then we hid 2 magnets in here. So we have now 8 magnets because they're super strong and they hold everything and tuck everything in nice and neat, and I just love them. So that is how we ended up doing the embellishments on this, okay? Okay, so just a quick little bonus page layout here. These are some of my favorite cards that I've gotten from my girlfriends, one from my father, and I kind of just have them laid out on a plain cardstock. This looks like a textured basil paper. It's kind of a deep red. I'm thinking it's Christmassy enough. So here is what I'm thinking of doing with the technique that we just learned. I'm adding a little pencil here. I'm using a pencil here, and I am putting the line and drawing around. Now remember, when you use pencil, you can always come back and erase it. So then I take that one over, and then I think I want this one about right here. It looks about straight for me. This is just for my personal scrapbook. It's not like I'm going to sell it, so I'm okay if it's not absolutely perfect. This one I'm going to use right here. So I'm drawing down. Okay. There we go. This absoluteness right here. Absolutely gorgeous. This is such a beautiful card. Why would we not want to put it in our scrapbook, right? So, might be a little crooked here. Okay. And then this one's going to sit right here. And then and this one right in the center. I think this is really sweet because this is a very simple card, but my father gave it to us for Christmas to my son Nick, so I want to keep it in a nice safe spot. So now we have our spots marked, and you're going to go in here, and I'm going to use my straight paper edge cutter, and I'm always going to pierce the paper and stop right after the pencil line, okay? So that is there, and then I'm gonna go in a 1/2 inch. So if my mark is right here, and I'm at a 1/2 inch there, so I'm gonna scoot over a whole inch so I can use the exact same spots that I used for piercing, and go all the way down. And you wanna go just a little bit bigger. That allows for your card to slide in, because what you're basically building here is a little belt. And you see, if you make it too snug, then your little card is not able to go in. So now you want to come in with your card, and you're going to move the score line to the 1/2 mark area a little bit bigger, and we're going to score that right there. Okay, because that is where we want to be able to see both of these cards, the front and the top, the front and the back of who sent it, what their thought was that year, and you put it in the little belt. Okay, so here we are. We've got that one down. Now we're going to work on the next ones. All right, so now I have all my little cuts here, and for all my little pages, and now I get to build this in. That one's going to go right in there, and when I open it up, I'm able to see what this lovely person said to me, and I'm also able to see who made it for me. And it goes right in there. And then the next one has the same thing, and we need to score it a little bit bigger than the 1/2 inch mark is what I'm using to score. And you lift that little piece up. That's the little belt. There we go. That one's gonna sit right there. Okay, now we're adding our little belts here. We're adding to our page layout. And now remember that we used pencil with all of this, so it's very easy to come back and clean the little mess up that we have. There we go. That one goes right there. This one was going on the inside of this all. There we go. This one goes on top. This one goes there. And then we had this gorgeous little gingerbread man. Oh, he's so cute. How can you ever throw your cards away? It's just not possible. So we tuck them in here. We're going right into that little spot. Going that one, and then we have one more up here on the very top. This is a page. This is a page full of love. Okay, so then I use my wet glue. Let's make sure our little glue is ready to go. Okay, so what we have here is little pencil marks. And we put a tiny amount of wet glue underneath the little belt, just to keep it nice and safe and secure. How absolutely gorgeous is that? Okay, so you have learned a technique. There we go. A spot that we can put this entire thing right here can go, and we can say 2020, and we're done. You can see the lovely sentiments everybody has sent you. Bring that down. Okay, so here we have our little extra page that we have from our kit. I just wanted to show you that because we used our template right here that is a gatefold in right to left, top to bottom gatefold, you can also do something completely crazy like this, where you're doing a right, a left, up and down, and one in the center for all kind of gorgeous cards. It's about learning a technique, and this technique is just these little belts, 1/2 inch in between. You design, you pencil mark where you want your cards to be, and you're set. I'm hoping that you're enjoying this. Actual page for our class, we end up with a gatefold. Now remember that here the center sits right here, but my card went over a little bit more, so I kind of off-centered the flourish so that we can see this go to the center. Okay, and then because we're using magnets, there's going to be some kind of ribbon right there. We have a little magnet going on, and then we have the right side also with magnets. Then we have the top and bottom, and then here we have the right and left. Okay, the inside, I just used a tiny little bit of gold here and there to decorate, and that's it. And the rest is all yours for you to put beautiful pictures in it and learn this technique. Take it with you. Again, keep a stash of your templates. Have a little file of them so that you know how to use it for the next time around. Really fun little page. And then you can move on. Wouldn't this be also perfect for, let's say, a little girl or a little boy's birthday, and you put all their cards in their actual scrapbook. So really fun to do. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Send me a comment, please. Please consider subscribing. I so appreciate it, and I appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.